Okay, guys, today I'm doing Pluto in Leo in the 5th house, and I'm going to run through a few slides with you. I will let you know that I'm doing chart readings as I'm studying and learning evolutionary astrology, and my details will be below. And if you like this video, then please hit the notification button or drop me an email if you got any questions on Pluto and such like. But I'm going to run through these slides now, and I will show you what that means, what Pluto and Leo means for you. So there you go. So what we have, make this smaller, what we have is that in Pluto in evolutionary astrology relates to the soul and the soul's underlying evolutionary desires. It is the depth of our unconscious and out of our awareness. And we can see that we may repeat unwanted patterns or experiences, the same repeating life issues. Our Pluto placement and our transit holds information that, when understood, can smooth our passage through time. So this is one reason why I got into astrology, and when I started looking, it began to get me more in alignment with my truth and living my soul journey, so to speak. So knowing our Pluto placement and our chart helps us to objectify, to look at our life and know ourselves. And the transit and our solar returns and our aspects to Pluto show us what is being reborn and what is dying or stale, and what needs to change or be released. It is looking to see what needs to end to allow for a rebirth and regeneration to occur in our lives. Through life, we experience dark nights of the soul at times, and this is a door to our deeper self. And our life experiences need to be examined, so any wounding or painful events can be thawed out, which allows for rebirth. We are here to live fully with an open heart and explore the world, and to transform and to transmute that which holds us back. So looking at Pluto allows us to objectify. So the big question that at some point in our lives we all get to, we ask the question, why am I here? And I'm sure, you know, I'm not alone in that, but generally it happens, you know, for a lot of people after they're 30, or when they hit 30, they'll sort of look at their lives and think, why am I here? And some, you know, maybe before, but I think it's rare. I would say here, what I'm showing you, I'm going to get my pointer so you can see what I'm up to. What I have is two charts, and one is my solar return and the other one is my natal chart. And what we have is an idea that we can see what's going on through the transits. And you can see here, this is, my birthday's on the 21st of May. So this is a solar return for the upcoming year. And what we have at the Pluto is, although it looks like it's in Aquarius, it's actually in Capricorn here. And it's in my 4th house, which is to do with home and security and our needs and how we feel secure in the world. And then on my natal chart, you can see, if you look here, if you're familiar, Pluto is in my 9th house on my MC. So it's a 5 degree orb, but it's still on my MC, and it's conjuncting Uranus. So this is quite deep. Some people who know astrology would be able to read this, but others that don't, it might be new to you, but this is what Pluto will look like on your birth chart. And on this video as well, on the link, I'll put a place where you can get a birth chart that looks like this, but you do need your time of birth as well as date. So the next slide, we have a natal chart represents our potential, and it also represents where we have been and what we can become. And Pluto works in 3 ways in our chart. It can be cataclysmic due to resistance, and we can have willing to change in some ways and resisting in other ways out of fear or uncertainty. And 3, to jump into one's heart and soul with the desire to understand, learn, and eliminating resistance. We have free will, and knowing this means we get to make choices. And it is important we look at the totality of our chart, and in evolutionary astrology, the baseline used will be Pluto and the North Node and the South Node. So that's important information that the nodes, the South Node shows our past life and the North Node is showing us this life path. So here goes. This is Pluto Leo in the 5th house. So you can look at this as a transit, or you can look at it as a house placement, or you can look at it as a solar return. So there's 3 ways you can read into this. So Pluto here will be a time where the person will learn to take charge of their reality to allow for new creative impulses to come forth from deep within the soul. These impulses are linked to the person's life purpose. It is an examination of how one has been giving to others, a looking at personal needs, the looking at the needs and the need to receive attention and love from others. It is a time to know one is special and important, a time of creativity, a time of deep inner inspiration, impact of desire upon the conscious awareness, taking charge of one's personal reality and destiny. And one may appear more self-centered when it's in this placement, or if it's transiting through the 5th house, or it's in your solar return. So one may appear more self-centered. For others, a release of being self-centered. This time will allow for new experiences and impulses to occur. Beliefs and preconceived ideas may fall away, and the inward changes will be reflected in the outer. Outer conditions will show up based on the person's reality up to that point. A child can be counted as personal creativity, as in giving and receiving. One can focus solely on a newborn baby, which removes self-centered tendencies. It's a time indicative of pregnancy or babies through affairs or karmic connection. So next slide, continuing with Pluto in the 5th house. We have in Leo, some pregnancy can have karmic ties, both for mother and father. It's a time of confrontations. Also, difficulties can occur with one's children. Children of parents may desire or show new creative purpose. Changes can create a test of wills. Some will require freedom to follow their desires. And the good thing we often do not realize is that confrontations allow us to examine and restructure our lives. There can be attractions to others, where in relationship a person may feel unacknowledged within existing circumstances. There will possibly be attraction to those who promote and help with their needs. Love affairs can satisfy others' needs in feeling special and a feeling of importance. And magnetism can attract others, and some may be binding, some brief. If one is already in a relationship, it will affect the situation. One can be in love with both. Basis of affairs are the feeling of not being loved and no attention. The partner must allow the person with Pluto here to self-actualize. This time is for the person to find new purpose, and if rejected, this will cause a parting of ways at this time. Of self-actualization cannot be avoided or resisted. So it's saying self-actualization with this placement cannot be avoided or resisted. New power is found in the soul. When we take care of our own personal reality, we flow. When we resist changes here, then we are blocking ourselves and we will feel suffocated. It's important here to creatively express. So what we have now is something that I like from Uganda, which is mankind is engaged in an internal quest for something else he hopes will bring him happiness, complete and unending. For those individual souls who have sought and found God, the search is over. He is that something else, and that's Uganda. And basically God can be many things to many different people, but basically it's being in touch with something that's much bigger than us. And it's not so much a belief, but a knowing. And that's what this is referring to. Next slide. We have Carl Jung here. And we have, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And that's Carl Jung. He said that. And this reminds me of Pluto, this saying, quite deeply. And for me, I can see the direct connection to Pluto in that statement. The next statement is he says, what you resist not only persists, but it will grow in size. So with Pluto, with the cataclysmic events which people get scared of or whatever, if we don't deal with what needs to be dealt with, then clearly we're going to be pushed. And the whole point is that when we understand our chart and understand Pluto, we're putting ourselves in a position that we have some idea of what's going on in our lives and in the transits as well. And I would say that we can go deeper with Pluto in the 5th house with Jeff Wolf Green. If you get the Pluto book, which is also going to be at the end of this slide, you'll be able to, not this slide, but you'll be able to have a look on Amazon to see that book as also, because it's a brilliant book and it will get you in touch with what Pluto is about in the chart. Also, resistance determines the magnitude of our problems or confrontations. And all these sayings are worth taking on board. And then the source material here. So the book is Jeffrey Wolf Green, Pluto 1, The Evolutionary Journey of the Soul. I highly recommend that book. And Carl Jung, I used a couple of his quotes, and Uganda as well. And the pictures are from Google. So that's it. So this is my video for today. And then next week I'm doing Virgo in the 6th house. And if you've got any questions, feel free to contact me or email me. And I'm happy to look at your chart with you if you wish. Thanks for watching. Thank you.